what was the alternative? I mean, the Biden administration was knee deep in a genocide of its own making. At least Donald Trump stopped the genocide. And I just challenge anybody to say it. He stopped it. Can you contradict me on that, Nima? Donald Trump stopped the genocide. Can you say no, he didn't? Don't tell me what happened yesterday. I'm talking about when he was the power behind bringing a ceasefire that had Palestinians dancing in the streets of Gaza in joy. Donald Trump did that. All right. Now, moving forward, he has to deal with the complexity of an Israeli government led by Benjamin Netanyahu, the man who Donald Trump singled out as being responsible for dragging America into war. So one would think that having articulated a posture that said, I know the problem, and the problem is Benjamin Netanyahu, and I'm not going to let him take me down the path of prior presidents whom I condemned for getting dragged in the wars, you could say, okay, if that's his foundational thinking, then everything he's doing up here is tactical in nature, meaning that he's dealing with situations as they arise, complicated situations that no American president has been able to solve ever, and he's trying to move things. So you give him the benefit of the doubt. You say, well, that's a hell of a statement you made about Gaza there, putting 100,000 American troops in there and forcefully, evicting the Palestinians. How does that equate with what you said? Well, then you have to say, well, maybe he was looking for a counter proposal, and lo and behold, a counter proposal shows up, and you say, ooh, maybe the concept of tactical maneuvering to achieve a strategic objective, maybe it makes sense. And so you go on and you see him, taking a harsh stance against the Iranians, irrationally harsh. But I mean, wasn't that stance he took about Gaza and the depopulation of Gaza irrationally harsh? And yet it resulted in a counter proposal. So you say, well, good Lord, okay, trying to look at past, actions. Maybe he's just setting the stage to compel Iran into taking a different tack, one that maybe the indirect approach. Again, because you're always scrambling trying to figure out what the hell Donald Trump's doing, because his statements make no sense. They're way out here, except when you relate them to the foundational philosophy that you have articulated in your tweet. To avoid a war, you're like, gosh, how do we square the two? We have to assume that what he's doing is not to get us into a war, but get us out of a war. Maybe recognizing the difficulty of American-Iranian relations right now, he's deliberately trying to drive the Iranians into the hands of the Russians